Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends. And today we have a pretty exciting video to cover here because after the recent update that you guys might have seen, whether you're on Plarium Play on PC or on your iOS or Android or whatever, you might have seen that update. And with this update came a whole slew of data mine files, but specifically some of the upcoming characters that are going to be coming to Raid Shadow Legends, and I want to present that to you guys because some of them are pretty interesting. We have what looks to be the duo that's going to be coming for Valentine's Day or the Valentine's Day Fusion, I suppose, this month. We also have a brand new mythical champion and one other as well. So there's a total of 4 champions that I want to cover in today's video. But before we get started, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started Raid or want to make a new account, use the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get Tholen Falbeard absolutely free in these 3 amazing epics. We have Allure, we have Rector Drath, and we have Ruella at accounts level 10, 20, and 30. Don't forget that you can also use this promo code to get the Void Legendary Tahanarak. All you have to do is use the code Desert Queen within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. Okay, so let's get started. We're back into the game after the patch, of course, but I do want to kind of pivot really quickly to, and I want to give a special shout out to Bose Gorilla, so a friend of mine who I've been working with both in Raid and in Marvel Strike Force, doing a lot of data mine stuff. And here we have the portraits of the new 4 characters that have showed up here, and there's a little circle. I think Bose put the circle on here. So we have one here on the top left, and we have 3 on the bottom row. Basically, the file that contains these the icons, I suppose, or the avatar portraits or whatever. They tend to be. You can see that a lot of these are kind of newer characters here. We have the assassins characters and things like that that recently came out in the December patch characters. So they're kind of, these newer characters are kind of lumped together. So we have this one on the top left. We have this one on the bottom left. We have this one right here in the middle, and we have this barbarian bear-skinned helmet guy here. And I have the associated ability icons as well, so we can kind of get a glimpse, at least as to what they are. And the fact that one of them is a mythical is very abundantly obvious. So I want to start there, which is with the barbarian guy with the, I don't know, what is it, a bear skin, wolf. There's horns. I have no idea what kind of animal fur that is, but it doesn't really matter. So this is his base form, and we can kind of get an idea of, some of the skills. It doesn't tell us everything, right? We have like 2 icons with a sword. So, okay, he's got a sword and a chain, apparently, because he's got some different things here. I would imagine this is the passive. And these 3 are the other active skills for that. And then he's got an icon for metamorph. So the code in the data mines for the files for this icon for him is metamorph. And that is typically the skill, obviously, for changing forms as a mythical. And also you can see here that in the second picture that there are some more, right, for a second form. And I think this one seems to be more of a tanky type of character because there's a lot of characters that have like icons with a bull, and this is kind of like signifying provoke. Like there's a lot of characters that I've seen that kind of have like this kind of picture here with like a bull with red eyes or something like that tends to be, kind of going towards the provoke debuff. So I guess it's probably a more either defense or HP based tank. The rest, it almost looks like there's going to be some debuffs associated with some of his other skills as well. I don't know. I wasn't gonna say Shatter, but wasn't there? Is there a debuff version of Shatter? I'm not sure. Some of the newer ones, maybe there might be something else. But obviously, as a mythical, he's gonna need to come with some of the newer kind of mechanics that they've had lately. So I imagine, I mean, that could be a passive as well, actually. But I don't know the order of the skills necessarily correlate if that's A1, A2, A3, and then a passive. But either way, it looks like that at least in this alt form, he's gonna be more of a tanky type character, and I would imagine that the first form is probably going to be more damage based. I feel like with mythicals, there usually ends up being like a more DPS centered one and a more tanky based one. Usually, even with some of the characters that have kind of are more supporty. I mean, I guess it could be support as well. Who knows, right? I guess I'm just 2 swords. There's a heart, a sword hitting a heart. I mean, take it for what you will. That's not really the important thing. But we are getting a barbarian faction mythical champion because of the codes that are associated with that in the data mine. So again, just to go back to the photos, it's going to be this guy here. Now, as far as the other ones go, the Valentine's characters are going to be this one here in the top left. I could zoom in a touch more probably here. So this one in the top left. And I don't know, Fiery Head Dragon Ball Z character, Super Saiyan, whatever. You could tell that they have pointy ears. Actually, all three of them have pointy ears. This one, and this one doesn't necessarily. We don't know, or I don't know. Me and Bose don't know what faction these characters are. But I want to go out on a limb, and I think this is probably going to be a Dark Elf character here because the mythical that we had that came out in the Dark Elf faction, Arachnia Moonspinner or whatever, I think that was her name. She was a Dark Elf, and they look very similar. Dark skin, pointy ears. Yeah, maybe I'm generalizing, but I mean, I would assume that's just a blanket Dark Elf faction character. Now, as far as this guy goes, okay, so this is the first one. This is the female one, the top left. They misgendered the icons because I think this is more specific to the Dark Elf character. But anyways, it was coded as Valentine's 26. These are the icons for her. And it almost looks like more of a support-based character. This could be a passive. Maybe we don't. One of these might be the passive, but we got some wings here. Maybe some debuffs with some support capability. We don't know which one is going to be the fusion. That's the only thing, right? We don't know at this point in time which one of these are going to be the fusion, whether it's going to be Dragon Ball Z flaming hair guy or this one up here, the Dark Elf. But either way, interesting. Looks like a little bit more on the debuff side with maybe a revive thing, right? So the icon for revive on death, I believe, is something like wings, right? I have a couple of characters that can do that as far as the buffs, so maybe it's something to do, revive on death, or some sort of revive mechanic anyways. And then here are the, what we're calling DBZ Elf character, also coded as Valentine's 26. Now, Valentine's 25, for those of you who don't remember, right, contained characters like, oh God, what was her name? So the fusion, of course, was crap. Esme the dancer, right? She was the fusion event for last February. Great support character, has some really good buffs, increased accuracy, increased speed, and actually the passive was really nice as well. The active effect, whenever this champion's hit, increases turn meter of the ally with the highest attack by 50% on a one-turn cooldown. This was absolutely wild. I did actually manage to pick up Moto of the Peel, but that was actually from a random pull. I believe he was an Ogren here. Moto of the Peel, the secondary Valentine's 25. Now, these characters look a lot better, right? So just going back to this, I'm kind of hoping it's this one. I hope this is the fusion because I don't know, it looks really cool. The icon looks really cool. The question is, what faction are they? I think definitely Dark Elf. This could swing a few ways, right? I mean, I still want to say that he's an elf of some kind, but they could like. Is there any Hyles that like kind of like look? They look very regal. Hyles. I mean, do they have any over the top characters? Sylvan. Sorry, not Argonite. Sylvan. Maybe like we have Saoirse, but we have any? We don't really have any elves that are kind of on fire or anything other than Saoirse's like whatever she is, a flame spirit. Could be a demon spawn character, but I haven't seen any like elves looking elves. Maybe. I mean, Lamassu. Does she have pointy ears? No, not really. I mean, like, so fire doesn't mean that has to be demon spawn. We'll find out what it happens to be. Dark elf, high elf would be very interesting because it's two opposing kind of elven factions, and so if he is high elf, for example, and then she is dark elf, I think that would make a good, obviously like light and dark and this kind of stuff with the theme. But we'll end up seeing what happens there. Oh, sorry, I meant to jump back here. And then finally, we have these icons, which are going to be for the last character, which is going to be her in the bottom left-hand side. My head's in the way a bit. So she is going to be a Sylvan Watchers character. Now, at this point, we believe that this is going to be a Fragment Fusion event. I don't think there's ever, not that it might not, but we've never had, at least in the last 2 years, we've not had back-to-back hybrid events. So the Sylvan character either could be a hybrid epic character used for the fusion. I don't think because we just had that it's going to happen. Or this is just another Sylvan legendary, right? Because usually when we had the last patch, we had more, at least pre-Assassin's Creed, we had more than 4 characters come out that patch. We had 5. So I think that with the 4 here, with one of them being mythical, I think it's just 3 other legendaries. So I think the Sylvan character is also a legendary. So that is in the code, that it's basically Sylvan Watchers. I forgot the exact name. It doesn't say Sylvan Watchers in the code, but it's something like Forest Elf or something like this anyways. That is basically coded for Sylvan Watchers. And these are the ability icons for them. And this looks more, it could kind of defensive, right? We have like a bit of a shield icon here with the sword. but the rest of them are kind of damage based. And with AoE, you can see hit multiple targets here. So again, could be interesting. This will be kind of what's going on in February, and I just wanted to share this with you guys and see what you guys think about what is upcoming. So these are the 4 champions. I hope the fusion is this guy here. Looks kind of cool. I like the kind of aesthetic, so that would be something that I would go for. But if not, I can't remember how Moto the Peel was released, but I believe he was a Deck of Fates, which is kind of awkward timing because of the collab right now. And well, maybe Deck of Fates doesn't need to be a character released for one of the assassins, but a lot of us think that it will be. So we'll see how they end up handling the February new release champions alongside the current existing Assassin's Creed, and the fact that there hasn't been an event for Bayek, Edward, or Basim at this point in time. So it's going to be all of this stuff kind of mushed together here in February. So there we go, the new champions for the month. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, which ones look cool to you. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with the community. So before we go, of course, if you haven't started a brand new account yet, what are you waiting for? Download using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get Tholan Valbeard absolutely free. Don't forget that you also get these 3 amazing epics. You get Allure, Rector Drath, and Ruella, the accounts level 10, 20, and 30. And you can also get another legendary champion by the name of Tuhanarak. And all you have to do is use the promo code Desert Queen within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. That's it for me, everybody, and I'll see you all on the next video. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.